Imagine a man who chose to disappear from the world. Not because he was running from anyone, but because he wanted to escape everything. So, this is the story of Masafumi Nagasaki, a Japanese man who spent over 40 years living alone in the forest. Nagasaki was born in 1947 in Nagasaki, Japan. He lived a normal life at first, went to school, worked a regular job, and had friends. But in his 20s, he started feeling trapped. The routine of office life, the endless paperwork, the constant pressure. It was suffocating. He dreamed of freedom. Not a short vacation, not just a weekend escape, but a life completely untethered from society. In 1970, at 23 years old, he made a radical decision. He walked away from everything he knew and disappeared into the mountains. Life in the forest was not easy at first. He had no electricity, no running water, no modern comforts. He survived by hunting small animals, fishing, and growing vegetables. He built a small hut to protect himself from the rain and snow. Slowly he learned the rhythms of nature, the whisper of the wind, the calls of the birds, the subtle changes of the seasons. But the solitude suited him. While most people crave company, Nagasaki thrived on his own. He said being alone was not loneliness, it was freedom. Freedom from deadlines, bosses, and society's expectations. Over the decades, he became a legend. Hikers sometimes spotted him in the mountains, a man with long hair and a beard, carrying only his belongings, moving silently like a shadow. Some tried to approach him, but he would politely refuse. His life was simple, but it was his own. In the 2000s, the Japanese government grew concerned for his safety. At over 60 years old, living alone in the mountains was dangerous, especially during harsh winters. They found him healthy but determined, still wanting to stay in the forest. And eventually he agreed to move to a small house in the city. But even there, he remained a recluse, rarely leaving his home, still avoiding office life. Nagasaki passed away in 2022, at 74 years old. His story shocked the world and inspired many. It was not a tale of despair, but a story of courage. A man who dared to live on his own terms, refusing to be trapped by society. What can we learn from him? That freedom is priceless, that life does not have to follow a script, that sometimes the greatest adventure is simply choosing your own path. Masafumi Nagasaki lived not for wealth, not for status, but for a life that was entirely his own. In a world that never stops rushing, maybe his story reminds us that sometimes we all need to step back, breathe, and ask ourselves, what kind of life do we really want to live?